it's amazing what you do. And uh,
Thank you.
yeah, but first of all, before we get started, where are you guys located, and how are you and your family doing?
I'm in Long Beach, New York, and it's actually all right in New York right now. The cases are down to like 300 something yesterday. So I feel like now's the safest time, but I'm a little worried it's gonna come back up again. And my family's all right, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm here in Jersey, so
Okay, so same kind of deal.
yeah. I mean, actually, it's our governor put back some restrictions on, so he's being because in the other states it's already shut down, so he's being cautious. So no more indoor dining right now. So
I think they were gonna do that in New York too, but I didn't check today. I feel like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut's all the same.
yeah, all connected. Yeah. But for you, for explain your background a little bit, and when did you get interested in fighting, and who was your biggest influencer in the boxing world, and who helped you out along the way?
All right, so let's see, how far back do I go? I mean, I've been doing sports my whole life, so I've always been an athlete, but I kind of was always the athlete that was a little aggressive. So in like soccer or lacrosse or any sport I ever played, I would get like thrown out of games sometimes just because I'd be aggressive and bigger than people. So if someone fell near me, they'd give me like a red card or something. But I don't know, I felt like I needed something that was a little more aggressive. I started with kickboxing and I was probably like 20 or so.
Hmm.
And that was, sorry, that was probably my email. That was my like original martial art. And I went into Belmore kickboxing actually. And my coach at the time
That's
wasn't a coach yet, but he never trained a girl before. So I had to kind of convince him to train me, kind of like the movie almost. And then I started doing jujitsu for fun, but I still mostly just did boxing fights. Um, then there was a boxing coach at an MMA gym I was at,
hmm.
and I was like, I kind of like boxing because I liked the idea of just focusing on one thing. Kind of all the martial arts kind of would get confusing for me. Like I thought about doing MMA, but I wasn't really good at putting it together. And I just really liked focusing on one thing. So and also, actually remember I saw Heather Hardy fight, and I thought that was cool. And she was one of the first female boxers I saw that inspired me.
Yeah. So we'll get to the MMA, but who would you say that you were? Who did you look up to in the boxing, in the women's side, in boxing?
Definitely, Heather Hardy was the first girl I noticed,
Hmm.
and um, I kind of watched Michaela Mayer when she was like an amateur, and then watched her get big. And I like her style. I feel like we're similar. I think she has better technique and I might just be a little bit bigger, but I really like her style. And then some of the pros I've sparred, like I sparred the Serrano sisters,
Oh.
and
Hmm.
just like their ability is incredible. Amanda is like,
Yeah.
I've never been more blown away by a female fighter because I've never been hit that hard in my life. So yeah, she kind of showed me like the capability of a woman and that you can hit like a man. And then I sparred Alicia Napoleon before, and I thought that was a cool experience. She's inspiring too. These some of them are older too, which is interesting. Like it doesn't feel like female boxers need to start as young as male boxers. So those are just a few, but I mean, almost any female boxer I come into is kind of inspiring because they all have their different story.
Right. Yeah, so before we go any further, actually I saw you that you follow Raquel Miller. I had the opportunity to interview her on my podcast. She came on, and she's such an inspiration. And did you ever get to connect with her in person, or when did you start? Or did you, I mean, obviously I guess all you guys are connected in some way, but have you met her in person yet, Raquel
I
Miller?
haven't met her in person, but I like creep on her Instagram and watch her videos, and she's cool. So I like following a bunch of the girls that I think are good because then I watch what they're doing, like what they're practicing. I never really like look at it's interesting, like I know eventually I could compete against certain people that are in my weight class, but I like watching them not even as a potential opponent, but kind of as a fan. Like I'd be a fan of anyone I
Yeah.
fought.
Yeah.
So just like learn from people.
So my next question here, take me back to your first fight and your first win, and what was that like when you got the first win of your career?
Um, First win. Okay, it was a kickboxing fight,
Oh, oh,
and it was. I think I fought at like 130 something pounds. I don't even know how I made that at this point. And it was actually in a bar.
oh wow.
They put a ring up in a bar, and there's a lot of people there. And
Oh.
then afterwards, I had a beer, and I was really excited.
Yeah. So what? Tell me that. Like, explain to me. What was that like fighting in a bar in that atmosphere where people are obviously crazy and all packed, crowded, and how big was the place? And what was it? Was there enough of like seating area that people were standing?
Yeah, there was seating, and then like there's balconies, and then standing. It was a pretty big bar. The warm up area was outside, but it was still warm out because it was like the end of the summer, so that was okay. But I had fought there later again when it was the winter, and I like was freezing to warm up, so that was bad. But that kind of environment's honestly a lot of fun. People are screaming and saying crazy stuff. And then when you get out, everyone's drunk, so they're your biggest fan, no matter how you did.
Was it located in New York or somewhere else?
Mulcahy's on Long Island,
Oh, okay. All
like
right.
a pub.
Yeah, so my next question here, obviously I've seen your training videos. You usually work outside, and what do you? So obviously during this pandemic, what do you do now training wise? And I see all the videos you do, like focusing on like I guess movement and agility work. But what else do you focus on to get ready?
I think during this time, just because I can't really, I mean, I could spar, but I really don't feel comfortable yet. I'm waiting a little. Actually, the next few weeks is when I'm deciding. Um, and I can hit the bag, but I can't really drill. So I've been focusing a lot on footwork.
Hmm.
So I've been doing a lot of ladder drills, and then I do a lot of plyometrics like with my legs, just because I've always had a strong upper body, but I'm trying to make my legs faster,
Hmm.
because even like when I first started, I would punch fast, but my feet would be behind my punches and I wouldn't be like in sync. So I tried to make my fast twitch muscles in my legs quicker.
Huh.
That's what I've been working a lot on.
So what is so obviously how long do you usually train a day, or how long is your workouts usually?
When I'm going to fight, I try to do like 2 times a week lifting and strength and conditioning. Then I just try to do like 5 or 6 times a week boxing. I try to spar at least once a week. I feel like men get to spar more often just because there's more opportunities, but I want to get like one hard sparring a week. Um, and then, pads, whatever's available at the gym when I'm there, the coach will kind of tell me what I should be doing. So,
Hmm.
and then I try to do 2 sprinting days a week and then one long run.
So when you spar, does a trainer come to your house, or you just spar with someone else, like a family member? Or...
Oh, right now I haven't been sparring. I tried to spar my boyfriend, but we decided it's probably not a good idea. But yeah, I haven't sparred since I think March.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of happy about that because I was like nursing a wrist injury that I was a little worried about. I had a fight scheduled for May, and my wrist started bothering me, and I was nervous for it, and it actually healed. So
Oh.
I'm happy about that. I think it could have become a problem. So
So obviously, are you in contact with your agent currently, just to lining up some fights whenever you guys come back, and whenever they start back up for boxing?
well, the guy who owns my gym actually works as a promoter too, so it works out. They're trying to get something for September. They just got another guy from my gym something in Vegas, like in a few days actually. I think July 9th. So that would be good for him. But it's just kind of hard because we're not supposed to be in the gym. And I know they're being strict, like they're doing like cease and desist orders and stuff like that. And I don't really feel comfortable totally. I have a bag though, so that helps. So like training for it is hard. And it's also hard to find other people, like even if the coaches will train you right now, it's like finding other training partners is hard.
Hmm. Um, are you? Can you give us any insight if you're aiming high for like a big fight, big name person, or?
Oh, no, it actually would be my pro debut. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't really have a. I mean, I wouldn't fight someone great right now. I wouldn't want to be someone's walkover fight, but um, I don't. I'm pretty open to anyone from like 140 to 150.
Yeah. So my next question here, obviously, did you ever consider doing I mean UFC or MMA, and what are your thoughts on what they're doing with no fans? And obviously, it's going well. And then also they're doing like boxing segments on ESPN on Tuesday and Thursday. So what are your thoughts on all that? But first, did you ever consider it MMA?
I've actually tried MMA, and I do. I like watching it. Like I really like watching it, but I did have trouble putting it all together. But now I feel like I don't know because I also don't like getting kicked, even though I did kickboxing. Like I don't want to get kneed and elbowed, but I do think MMA is pretty cool, and I would consider it. But I think I would consider it after a career in boxing, maybe if I felt my body was okay.
And yeah, so what are your obviously last weekend was a big card. I loved the card. The card was fire. And what are your thoughts on the UFC and what they're doing? And obviously it's working well, but it's weird not seeing fans because I feel like UFC needs fans in the building. But what are your thoughts on that? And then also these boxing segments on Tuesday and Thursday.
I think it's really weird. It sounds like the punches are so hard. I remember I watched the card. Was that on Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. Dustin Poirier was the main event.
Yeah, and there was I think it was John Volante versus um some really big guy, the
Yeah.
heavyweights. I remember John Volante like was doing ground and pound, and the sound was so crazy because there's no like audience to drown it out.
Oh,
So it's kind of weird. I feel like I would feel weird if I guess it would kind of be like sparring, but it is a little strange. Um, but I think I mean they have to do it that way. Um, I don't know how many fighters have gotten sick through this, but I feel like it would be on the news if a lot of people were getting sick. I know like when they first did it, that one guy got sick,
hmm.
but didn't get anyone else really sick. So
Yeah, I
um,
had Oh, sorry. What was it?
you can go.
No,
Sorry,
sorry. You
I
go ahead.
was gonna
No, no.
say. I was just gonna go to the boxing part, so
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
go. Yeah, go to the. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. They're doing it now where like the commentators are in a different area,
Yeah,
right? Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I found that interesting. I remember I saw, I think it was a card in Mexico, and
Mhm.
they've had the masks on until they were in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that is so weird. It seemed so weird, but it was interesting. I mean, I'm glad fight sports are there. I just hope everyone can stay healthy.
Right. Yeah. So no, actually I interviewed a couple of MMA fighters on my show. Naming the big one is I had Frankie Edgar on my show. It was
Okay,
it was
cool.
an honor for to interview him. He's a Jersey guy, and obviously he's one of the best. And it's just and it's just honor for to talk to these like fighters or even boxers on my show. And the stories they have, their backgrounds is such inspiring, and especially for you, you have an inspiring background too. So that's
Thanks.
why I like to bring like different people from different backgrounds. But my next question here, what was the experience like with the kickboxing? What was that like, and did you have to train differently for that?
Um, so kickboxing, it's actually like it. I mean, it's not that popular in the United States.
Mhm.
So I feel like there's a lot of talent in like Europe and then obviously like Thailand with the Muay Thai. But in the US, I felt like the talent wasn't that good. So I think I got away with winning a lot in kickboxing just because the talent wasn't as good.
Mhm.
I think there are really good girls, don't get me wrong, but I think there's more talent in women's boxing than in women's kickboxing. So that kind of drew me to women's boxing too, and there's more money.
So, what advice would you give these young fighters or young kids that are trying to be in the same business as you, or like other fighters? What advice would you give them?
Um, if I could do anything again, I would just do whatever I felt was right. Because sometimes you get pulled in different directions, and then it causes you to be held back. So I think wherever you feel right, you're like the um, manager of yourself. So don't let other people tell you what's right if you feel uncomfortable. Because it is a sport that can be uncomfortable. I mean, you're getting hit, it's your livelihood.
Hmm. Did you actually? I used to do taekwondo back in the day, and did you use any like taekwondo techniques while you train?
Um, I didn't really have many fancy kicks. I did more like a Dutch style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I liked a lot of leg kicks actually too. But yeah, I never really tried fancy kicks because I was like too slow at them where I would just end up getting caught. I would do high kicks, but
Hmm. Yeah. So now I do this rapid fire segment with all my guests that come on the show. So you ready for this?
yeah.
Do you watch other sports or?
Um, not like I'll watch clips of other sports or if an athlete's really good, but I don't really watch other sports that often.
So what are your thoughts on Clarissa Shields as a boxer?
I think it's really, really, really good.
Favorite food?
For some reason, pizza popped in my head, but I don't even know if that's true. So I'll go with pizza.
What music do you listen to before a fight?
Hip hop,
Hmm. Favorite hip hop artist?
Nas probably.
What new things are you learning during this quarantine?
Surfing.
Oh, surfing.
Yeah,
You guys are by the beach, right? So,
yeah, yeah. My boyfriend's been teaching me. I'm very bad.
what do you like to do outside of? Obviously, you just said surfing, but what else do you like to do outside of boxing?
um, I like making art and stuff, drawing, making jewelry, just random crafts and stuff like that. Bike riding.
Hmm. Um, all right, favorite boxing move to do.
Jab.
What's all right? So, what do you think of? What are your thoughts on this? Whenever you guys come back, and what do you think it will be fighting? Because you're used to fighting in front of friends, in front of fans. But what do you think it will be fighting without fans potentially coming back?
I think it really will be like sparring. I think I prefer people there, but what can you do?
Yeah. Um. Obviously, what have you like? Whenever your next fight is, do you like to base your locations locally to New York, or you can fight? You willing to fight anywhere?
um, I prefer New York, but I would fight it anywhere.
Okay. And the last thing here before I let you go, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers?
Thank you. Thank you. There's really nothing else to say besides thank you.
Yeah, but well said, and thank you for coming on today.
Thank
Uh,
you for having me.
Sarah Thomas, professional boxer. I'll be posting this on all social media formats, and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to your next fight, and hopefully it comes back soon. Because I love all these Mortal Kombat, I mean combat sports. I love watching UFC, obviously MMA and boxing, and
Yeah,
I
same.
feel like no one, especially some boxing, they don't really get attention. I feel like that you guys should get more attention.
That'd
Uh,
be great, right?
yeah, but
They do a good job with female MMA fighters, so
mhm.
hopefully the boxers will.
Yeah, because I feel like you guys need more attention, and you guys do a great job, and just keep up the great work, and you and your family stay safe.
Cool. Thank you. You too.
Anytime. Yep.
Bye.
All right.